boys and girls. Today we are going to be making edible oobleck. So this is one of our favorite things to make at the CDC, especially in our infant room because it's edible. So if they're exploring with it, they can definitely taste it and feel it and all that kind of stuff and have that full sensory experience, meaning that all the ingredients that we'll be using are edible and safe to use. And safe to eat if they choose to do that, because we know that especially with those young infants and young children, a huge way that they're learning right now is through exploring with their mouth and the sense of taste. So we want to definitely support that, and it's going to be a great learning experience for them. So today what we'll be using to make our oobleck is going to be 1 cup of cornstarch. And I already measured it because it's quite messy. A half a cup of water, so I'll pour that in there. And then some sort of edible sensory add-in. So it can be food coloring, it can be cinnamon, it can be vanilla, it can be anything like that. And today I'm actually using one that's going to give it a unique flavor but also a very unique color. So I'm using ground turmeric as our edible add-in. It'll kind of have like a savory kind of taste to it, but also will make it this beautiful yellow orange color, which I'm very excited about. And it's also a natural alternative to food coloring, or if you guys don't have that. So those are our 3 ingredients, and then we have some sort of pan or container that has a lip of some sort. That way you make sure all the liquid and contents can stay in there and not spill. It might get messy, so if you have a towel or want to lay down something underneath them, that's probably a great idea to help minimize cleanup at the end. And last but not least, I have a spoon as my stirring tool, but you can definitely use your hands, or you can use a spatula or something else that the child can use to hold it while they stir up all their ingredients. So I'm very excited, so let's get started. All right, so our first ingredient is our cornstarch. So like I said, I already pre-measured 1 cup of cornstarch. So it's kind of powdery. So, and the other time when I was trying this, it went everywhere. All right, so we have our 1 cup of cornstarch in our pan. I'm going to move that to the side. All right, and then we have a half a cup of water. So I'm going to pour the water into the measuring cup and then pour it into our pan. All right, there we go. And you can always add, maybe especially if your preschooler or even your toddler are doing this activity, a great thing to do is kind of ask them what their hypothesis is, or what they think will happen if you add more water, more cornstarch. This activity is really unique is because the oobleck actually kind of acts like a solid and a liquid, and you'll see that in just a moment. So definitely when you add more of one ingredient or the other, you get different textures. So that would be a great way to extend this activity if you're looking for ways to do that. So, but we planned this one for the infants, but it's great because it can be done all through our preschoolers love this activity as well. So that's what we love about these open-ended activities. All right, last but not least, we have our ground turmeric as our edible add-in. So I'm going to sprinkle some. Also, just like food coloring, Teacher Hannah was using this a little bit earlier, and my hands are a little bit yellow, so if you don't want yellow hands, maybe you can use something else. But I know sometimes food coloring can do that too. So I'm going to sprinkle in some ground turmeric. You don't have to measure this part. You could maybe just do like a tablespoon. But today I'm just doing this until the color that I like it. So I am kind of wanting it more of like an orange, a bright yellow. That's what I love about turmeric, is that we love to cook with it, and it turns this beautiful orange yellow color like the sun. All right, so now I'm gonna stir up our oobleck, and you'll notice that it's kind of hard, but still liquidy, and there's a lot of cornstarch. And so it kind of acts like a solid but a liquid, and as you mix it all up, it might be kind of challenging to do with a spoon. But, all right. It gets kind of tricky. All right. So adults maybe who are helping, it might be tricky for them to mix this up, so definitely maybe modeling this, helping them give tips and strategies, like maybe stirring in a big circle, or putting the tip of the spoon on the bottom and moving it back and forth. Different ways to help them out would be great. And if maybe you're doing this for a really young infant, maybe you guys get to do this fun sensory part, and then allowing your infant to explore all the different textures and sights that the oobleck gives. All right, so now you can tell it's getting really thick and solid and kind of hard. So again, you guys can feel free to add as much water or more cornstarch to make it the right consistency. Maybe you guys want it more watery, but the 2-to-1 ratio, so using a cup of cornstarch and a half a cup of water will get you this consistency, and I'll show you in just a second. All right, I actually don't know if you guys can see this or not, but you'll see that it's really hard, but I'm gonna set this to the side. When I pick it up, oops, I'm getting it all over the place. Oh no. It's okay if we make a mess. All right, so it's a solid, it's really hard, but then you'll watch something really cool. It'll start to melt, kind of like a liquid. Slowly. It's not doing it super fast right now. But, so now you have this edible oobleck and all that means is that, yes, you're probably not going to encourage them to just eat it, but definitely when they're feeling it, maybe they want to taste a little bit. That's why we made sure that we used edible ingredients, so that way if they did do that, it can actually add to the experience. So definitely encourage them to touch it, feel it. You can ask them, especially if they're older, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? I know mine kind of smells, not spicy, but kind of like savory, which just means it smells like herbs a little bit. I don't really know how to describe turmeric. Maybe a little bit spicy? I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but it's this beautiful yellow, and it's been really fun. So I can make it into a ball. You can make it into whatever you would like. That's what I love about oobleck, is that it's hard enough that you can make shapes, but then it's also gonna start melting and getting all droopy. See how it's doing that? Which is really kind of cool, especially because it feels like a solid, but then it starts to melt kind of like a liquid. So that's what we love about this activity. It's very hands-on. Feel free to add in any add-ins, like little, maybe small toy figurines, or maybe some more stirring tools. Maybe if you guys have like a Play-Doh cutter, that would be great to add in. Even if you guys take this outside and maybe collect some sticks or rocks or anything like that to add it to the mix. But yeah, this is a really fun sensory experience, but also a great science experiment, just talking about the difference between solids and liquids and how sometimes different combinations like cornstarch and water can make both. So that's our activity for today, and I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, because this has been really fun to make this and get nice and messy. So I hope you guys had fun, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.